coming? I don't know, can you hear me in the back? No. Isn't that the big guy? Please give me his hearing aid. Okay, you've already heard my name, Chenjerai Katanda. I give myself all sorts of titles. So you can call me the executive editor, you can call me the managing director, you can call me the CEO, you can call me the founder, you can call me the co-founder, all these terms of School Sports Network. But just to give you a brief background of School Sports Network, it didn't actually start as School Sports Network. I launched it from my bedroom, and it was supposed to be a school's rugby blog back in 2012, because I played rugby in school, and after traveling with the Zimbabwe under-19 team, I thought there was not enough coverage of school sports. So after going through school and doing a couple of other things that people do after they go to high school, say, I'm going to do a blog. I'm going to watch these games over the weekend anyway, so I can watch them, enjoy them, write about them, put it up on the internet. And the thing that comes to mind is, okay, I'm going to do it because I enjoy it, but I'll be honest with you, and if you're being honest with me, I think everyone wants money. Maybe rather needs or loves money, not want. So at the top of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to make money off this blog. I'm going to make tons of money. Then you're reading articles on income diary and all that other stuff, and people are telling you how they're making thousands every month off AdSense and stuff. So I'm thinking, so I can do what I love and make money at the same time. Let me do it. So I started, put up the first 2 articles. I think the first article went up on the 10th of May, 2012. Those were the first 2 articles. I went to the game, watched the games, did a few articles. They were not good articles, but they told the story of what has happened at the game. And no other media outlet, Herald or radio, was telling that story. So people were better off getting that story from my blog. And I've always had to, not exactly battle, but maybe argue or debate with people over the need for capital to do something that you enjoy here in Zimbabwe. People always say, we don't have money, we don't have investors. I'm not going to tell you how much we have in our bank account now, because that's not working anyway. The Bank of Kingdom, so we literally don't have money. But if it was working, maybe I could give you those figures. But when we started, I didn't have a bank account. I didn't have a personal bank account. There was no bank account for the startup. I didn't think of it as a startup, honestly. So there was nothing. It was just something I was doing from my bedroom every other Saturday after I watched a rugby game. So, but to register that domain, because it was a .com, it wasn't as easy to register .co.zw then. So I registered a .com, front row. Actually registered at .co.zw, and it took something like a week, because it was frontrow.co.zw. So that was it. And the .com was frontrowzim.com. So registered that. I paid for the .co.zw, for the .com, which started, paid $9 on the internet, and used WordPress, which was free. And first month I paid $3.95 for the hosting of the site. So with about $13, School Sports Network, then Front Row, was launched. $13. Well, you don't talk about the equity and all that, because if you try to put a value on humans, then, well, you can say with $1 billion investment. But anyway, so that started, and I was just writing articles. And then one day, I went to school. I did my A-levels at Eaglesville. So there was an inclination of doing Eaglesville rugby games. So I went to Eaglesville because it was rugby and I was watching the game. And then while I was watching the game, the first team game, because you know if they're playing rugby games, first team games happens later on in the afternoon. So there were all the other games, under 14, under 15, they were done, the junior teams. And now they were waiting for the first team games. And during that period, there's girls hockey going on. And we always used to enjoy girls hockey when we went to school. I was like, let me go watch girls hockey. So I went there with the purpose of wanting to watch so that I could while out time while I wait for the main rugby game, which my report would be useless without. So I did that, went to watch the hockey game, girls hockey. Now maybe I can actually do a report on the hockey as well. So I did a report on the hockey that day and a report on the rugby, and the response was like, okay, people are actually reading that. So that's how we moved from front row doing rugby to front row doing all sports. And then some might be wondering why the name changed. I think that's one other, maybe I need to put a disclaimer out there. I don't know everything. So you're going to ask me questions that I'll simply answer, I don't know. And if I know, I'll try to answer it. Sometimes I'll answer it will be a wrong answer, it's just an opinion. But I think one of the most important characteristics or attributes that an entrepreneur in Zimbabwe, whether a tech entrepreneur, an entrepreneur selling tomatoes or selling whatever, is how dynamic you are. During last year's Startup Challenge, we did the first session, and unlike you guys, my laptop actually switched off. We had 10 minutes to present. Was it 10? It was 10 minutes, right? We had 10 minutes to present, and because I was trying to work on the pitch, on the deck before we went in there, I was running out of battery. For like 2 hours working outside the Cape on the cricket field. So we're working on there, and we have to go in now, but I don't have, I didn't carry my charger because I think it was Clinton who just came and said, you guys are up, come and present. So you just pick up your laptop and you go inside. So I started presenting. I got this deck and I put it on, I'm a sucker for photography, nice pictures. So we had pictures up there and I'm thinking, this is the perfect deck. 1, 2, 3, I had about 10 slides. 1, 2, 3, laptop switches off, battery gone. This is in the middle of the speech. And I was just thinking, But I think what saved me that day was I was talking something I'm passionate about, which I believe all of you are doing something that they're passionate about. So I just went on talking. I think at some point I was rambling when I was talking about the startup, and I think it got through to the judges. So I hear a lot of people come asking for tips. You're not going to win with this tip, but your startup will succeed. Just do something you're passionate about, and whether you ramble or whatever you do, just be passionate about it and carry on. So during that pitch, we presented as front row. The website was sport, blah, 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 and we did our pitch. And the judges, I remember it was the worst. You know, you pitch to a lot of different people, some people give you $100, so I'll pay for your hosting for next year. And you're like, thank you very much, that's fine. And then this was the worst pitch I've ever done. In terms of, not how I presented it, but maybe how I presented it as well, because the laptop switched off during the pitch. But how the judges responded. There were 4 judges, I remember all the responses they gave. First one, I think the one judge who, was showing a bit of interest in the startup was Liam, the guy from Ekenet. And he had a super sports shirt on, so I was like, he's a sports fan. But everyone else was like, I don't think this is scalable. All the talk was just, and Bikani was quiet. I was like, say something! He didn't say anything. But that was it. So we walked out, and then afterwards when they were announcing the finalists were there, it was like, okay, we're gonna make the second one awesome. So we did that, and then we went through to the finals, pitched, and I think the greatest, we got the 10 grand, yeah, fair and fine, but I think the greatest prize we got from that was that final pitch that we had at Mutala. During the pitch, I didn't need someone to tell me that we had won. I actually felt that I didn't need the money because of the relationships that we're forming with the judges, them and their businesses during the pitch, the possibilities that they were seeing. So I was like, even if I don't get the 10,000 or the 5,000, because the other 5,000 is pure internet services. And sometimes the guys at ZOL will say, you can't use it to buy a router, you just have to pay your internet. And that's it. So don't be overexcited about the other 5,000. But so that is what happened. During the pitch, came in there, told them what we'd done. So because of the feedback that they gave, that front row sounds a lot like rugby. That was David Bay. It was like, front row sounds a lot like rugby, but you're saying you do hockey, you do water polo, change your name. You're thinking, can I do that? But then here comes in the dynamism where you have to be dynamic and look at what the environment is saying. Because this is what 5 people who had short the site at one go and actually took the time to listen to them say about the site. So I just thought maybe the other 2,000 that are out there think the same thing, but they don't have a way of getting that message to me. So I was like, okay, we'll change the name. I didn't know what we were going to call it. Then between that time of the first speech and the finals, we changed it to the School Sports Network. That's where School Sports Network came from, and because we thought it was a name that encompassed every sport that we wanted to do, and because of sort of like freelance stringer type of model that we have, I thought network was a good fit to that. So we had School Sports Network. That's how the name came up. So we did that. We won. We got the 5,000. We got the 5,000 interns. And we started, we were actually in operation, like I said, 2012, that's when we started. So it wasn't something like, okay, things are totally different because we won. So I'm not going to, I think that's all you hear about the Startup Challenge from me. Now let's talk about the startups that you guys are building, the startups that you guys are passionate about, the startups that you guys want to see go Pan-African or go global. I mentioned relationships. Maybe if you can do an exercise. What's the greatest relationship in your life? What do you value the most in terms of relationships? Which relationship? Whether with a person, or with an animal, or with a company, or with your laptop. What would you say is the greatest relationship that you have? All right. Brilliant answers all around. Someone spoke about committing time and all that. Can we actually, I don't know, can we do this maybe as an exercise and just have everyone just actually list down who they want to partner and how they're going to go about doing that? I think that's a topic for another day. But who you want to partner and how you're going about to do that. And one other thing, last year we changed the rules of the Startup Challenge, as Jesse said. These guys didn't realize it, but that's what happened. The startup that entered the first contest is not the startup that won, because Front Row entered and School Sports Network won. So they didn't realize it. So the winner was not at the initial competition. But I'm just thinking maybe you guys can forget about this whole $10,000 thing and form one huge startup with socialism. These guys are saying we want to partner each other. Form one big startup and pull your way together and pitch it at the finals. No, if you go through their terms and conditions, they don't have anything stopping you guys from doing that. Yeah. That way everyone gets a piece of the 10,000, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then you're competing against Jet, because Jet are not partnering anyone. Yeah.
We're not turning the 10 grand into Jet bundles.
They were jetting from you. Okay, I was just going to talk about, we're always talking about return on investment, and even when I was asking why you want to partner with them, there was a lot of, they'll get money from us, they'll get money from us. We need money, yes, but we need to chuck out that mindset and focus more on the relationship that is being formed and look at the value that you can get from it. Either real value or perceived value. It all works wonders for you. So instead of return on investment, let's go return on relationship. And that happens like one side with your wife, you obviously have to be loyal. So if you're going to partner with Techzim, we don't want you going to, okay, let me not call names, but we don't want you going and partner with the other guy that does something that's similar to what they do. And then, I mean, you can partner, you can have 5-7 partners, but there's that bit of loyalty that has to come in. So loyalty, trust, and just being honest and true to yourself. I think this one, no disclaimer, I'm right. You need to be honest. If you're not honest, no one wants to partner you. If they partner you, that partnership is not going to last 2 months. So honest to your investors, honest to your partners, honest to your team. Like one said when I was asking about relationships, it's good to actually build that relationship. So next time we'll ask this question, when you say the relationship I have with my team, it actually means something. So yeah, return on relationships. I think that's great. And the reason why I stopped the team from JET, when I was talking what they want from you and you said money, and I asked you to stop, money is important, like I've said. I'll say it again, it's important and we need it. But in this startup ecosystem that we have in Zimbabwe, the stakes are not as high to put everything on money. That's why I even gave that example of teaming up and going together, because it's not the 10,000 that you're going to get that's going to be helpful. But if you get that 5,000 bundle from please don't do this after I've said it. These guys at Techzim want to see me ever. But hypothetically, if you get the 5,000, it means everyone has a reliable internet service to use, right? And you can imagine the things you can do with that reliable internet service. Rather than socialism saying we're going our way, and they win, and they go with the 5,000 and 5,000 cash. And then the guys that they wanted to partner at Core or at Dream Big don't have internet, it means they're probably not a reliable partner, because maybe their internet is not working, they only read our emails after 5, and yeah, that sort of thing. So I'm just saying the relationship should be more important than anything. And just so that I'm not saying stuff for the sake of saying it, I'll give you the partners that we have. If you've been on our website, who's been on the SSN website? Oh, come on, guys. You haven't been on SSN. You don't know what you're missing. You should visit SSN. Yeah, well, I think next year we'll be doing wrestling as well. But if you go onto our site, you'll see that if you scroll right to the bottom of the site, we've listed our partners. And one partner is a startup that does exactly the same thing that we do. That's in South Africa, SA School Sports, and they've been in operation since 2007. I only found out about them after I had tried and failed, and then established SSN. If I found out about them before, I would just copied and forget the stress. But we found out about them partner, and that partnership is not monetary value really. There's the exchange of links, and in that sort of relationship where we're saying you're getting more from people than they're getting from you, I could call it that, because well, now they get a bit of stuff from us as well. But the biggest thing we get from them is mentorship, because they've been at it since 2007. Different economies, yes, but when we talk to these guys, they tell you, why don't you do this contest this way? Why don't you do this competition this way? Try to talk to your advertisers about this, and then they do it that way. So we're always talking to them, Skype calls maybe once or twice every other month, and we learn a lot from them. The good thing is those guys are from Zimbabwe, but they're now in Cape Town, they're based there. You remember that time when everyone left? So they're there, and when we talk to them, we learn a lot. But they actually get a lot of traffic from our site as well, because whenever we're talking about South African schools, like we've had a lot of South African schools and English schools come to Zimbabwe this year. So when we're reporting on that, like one thing I can remember off the top of my head, Hilton College, they were playing at St. John's, and they were proving to be really good. So I went on SA School Sports, asked the ranking, then I called the guy, like, can you give me the latest ranking you guys have for these guys? And then he gave me the ranking, and then we included in an article, like, our partners in South Africa, SA School Sports, ranked these guys 11 in the whole of South Africa out of 300 schools. So they're a really good team. We should expect something great from them this weekend. And they went on to win the tournament. But because we linked that, just hyperlinking, they got tons of traffic from us. So we get mentorship, they get traffic. I mean, it doesn't happen every day, but when it happens, it's good. And then, funny enough, they report Hilton College have now moved from 11 to 9 because of the games they played in Zimbabwe. You can find the report on our partner site in Zimbabwe, SSN. That sort of thing. So that's one partner. So they start up, maybe not a startup anymore, but they started the same way that we did. And then there's Education USA, because they're into offering, they don't offer scholarship, but they assist students who want to study in the States. And half the time, those kids want to study on sports scholarships, so they apply through Education USA, which is the official education advising center for the USA State Department. So we've partnered with them, and a lot of good things have come out of that relationship we have with them. Other partner that we have at the moment is How's That Cricket Academy. They're getting traffic from us. I think they're actually getting more from us. But then they're pledging to do fitness and nutrition content on our website. So that's something so we're not getting any money from that. but it's the value and the perception that when people look at you, they're like, okay, they want to work with you because you've worked with others and you've worked with others well. And then our newest partner is ZFM. If you listen to the sports show on ZFM on Wednesday, I know a few guys in here will listen to it. If you listen to the show, on Wednesday we did the pilot program, and they now have a school sports section where they're getting all the content from us, and one of us is going on the show and presenting every other Wednesday. So it's like a roundup, and in that way we're reaching out to more people, and they're having their audience served because they don't have a team big enough to do Dynamos games, to do all the Alliance games, and then do Prince Edward games at the same time. So we're all getting value from that, and maybe in the long run we can monetize that and we can all get a cut. Hopefully we'll get 70 and they'll get 30. But yeah, and so those are the four active partners we have at the moment, and we're working with them back and forth, and we're trying to make those relationships work. So in the same way that you say with your wife, it's all about commitment, loyalty, whoever you want to partner with your kids, it's about doing their homework, it's about helping them. Yet, it's not always about snatching the money. But whoever you want to work with, whether it's ZOL, whether it's Telesom, there might not be immediate monetary value, but there's a return on that relationship that comes from the way you look at you. I can tell that from the way some of you are looking at me now. The moment I started talking and the moment I say we partner with the department of the US State Department, people are now thinking, okay. Then when I say ZFM, some of your faces cringe because the perception is now different. I'm sure it's a good perception, but it's different from when we're SSN and we're the sole school sports provider in Zimbabwe. So the same thing for socialism, the same thing for core, the same thing for hooked up, the same thing for Jets, the same thing for Happy Mates. Think of that partner you're going to partner with. Think of that partner you're going to partner with and get value from, and also give value back. So with that, I thank you ladies and gentlemen for listening. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them, but remember that disclaimer, I don't know everything.